Hello, it's Victoria with OMG, and today I'm reviewing Burberry Body. Upon the release of this fragrance, I had sniffed it a few times in store. It never really caught my attention. In fact, one of the shopping trips, I was with my husband, and I had him smell it, and he called it Bath and Burberry Works, as a joke for Bath and Body Works, because the fragrance seemed really generic. And the surprise about the Burberry fragrance is it's actually a little more pricey than the other Burberry, like Burberry Brit, Burberry Weekend. So Body, you kind of expect more at that price point. It's smaller bottles at a higher price point, like $100. So this fragrance, I thought the ad campaign was beautiful. Love her makeup. I don't know. I was really excited about the fragrance because I don't know. I liked the original Burberry. I liked Burberry Weekend. Some of the notes listed include freesia, green absinthe, about 10 years late on the absinthe bandwagon, but whatever. Peach, rose, sandalwood, cashmere, musk, and vanilla. There's some other notes listed too, but this fragrance at initial spray on the skin, it opens as a very soapy floral. The freesia it's not like you smell it and go freesia. It's just really soapy and clean, and I can say screechy. I'm going to say screechy. But at the same time, I'm like, this fragrance smells so familiar. Kind of going back to the Bath and Burberry Works comment that my snobby husband made, but it does smell so familiar, and it hits me. I have this peach rose, and it reminds me very much of Lancôme Trésor. In fact, I would say that Burberry Body is a modern, or it's an updated Trésor, and this fragrance is so 1990s. It's very early 1990s, but not, totally, but it's definitely playing with some of those big hitters like Calvin Klein Eternity and Trésor, because it has peach, rose, orris. So we have this powdery peach rose. It's clean. At the same time, it's warm. It's not cool and aquatic. But yeah, so it's pretty much through the heart of this. Once those screechy, soapy florals burn off, you're kind of given a clean, talc, feminine floral of peach, orris, and rose. Very, very, very Trésor-ish, and the top is very Calvin Klein Eternity. The base is that warm musk with some of the powdery orris and a little bit of vanilla, like if it was vanilla talc. The fragrance is so not original. Like, it is so familiar. Like I said, reminds me of Trésor, it reminds me of Calvin Klein Eternity, reminds me of this woodsy base of some Bath and Body Works scents. But it's well done. The fragrance has a lot of sillage. It's long wearing. Like I said, it's totally not new at all, but well done. Like everything kind of flows and it makes sense, and it seems very easy and natural to wear. The fragrance, like I said, is very long wearing. So, the fragrance cost a little bit more, but you kind of, quote, get your money's worth if you want a long wearing fragrance that has a nice projection. The fragrance, like I said, I have vintage Trésor, because Trésor is vintage now, and I have it in the dusting powder, so I don't need Burberry Body. I think it's kind of interesting because I think there's two consumers here. We could have a person who is young and doesn't know about Trésor or wasn't around for the early 1990s fragrances, the feminine fragrances. So we have, a younger crowd, 19, 20-year-old, who thinks this smells very different because they haven't been exposed. At the same time, that same 19 or 20-year-old could think this smells like their mother because their mother has worn Trésor since Isabella Rossellini was the face of Trésor. And at the same time, it's a great fragrance for that lady who has been wearing Trésor or Eternity. Because this fragrance has that same projection and sillage as those early 90s feminines that were kind of going from shoulder pads to the Kate Moss, more natural, looking makeup. That transition, still those early 90s fragrances were this hybrid of having a lot of projection, but at the same time being clean and so not offensive. So that's the bottom line with Burberry Body. It's a very early 1990s fragrance. It's retro because of that, but it's very, pretty, a powdery floral with, nice warmth to it. It is so not original and so not offensive. So, I'm not rushing out to go buy a bottle. I could care less about this fragrance, but I could see how someone would like it or be attracted to it. And as far as composition, it's well done. It's not a sorry replica of these popular mainstream, early 90s fragrances. So until next time, I'll smell you later.